Well, hello everyone and welcome to Cabin Fever Crochet with me, Helene here. Thought I would come outside and tuck ourselves a little bit farther back in the woods for just a little extra peace and breath of fresh air. And hopefully I'll be able to do this before we get too many shadows so I can show you all the things I have in my little bag. Red Robin, yum. This is what you call curbside pickup. I thought it was pretty funny when I came out here. I'm walking across to the back and I've got my big bag on one shoulder and stuff in this hand and my camp chair in the other. And so I could hear my husband call out the window from the house. What are you doing? You going camping out there or what? Yeah. Maybe. Sounds pretty good about now. I just might do that. Yeah, until feeding time, that is. Mosquitoes and otherwise. So I'm showing you my finished garment. Yay! Finally, I got it done. And I'll show you, I took some of it out and pulled it back and redid it a couple of times because it wound up being more see-through due to the nature of the stitch and the yarn that I used than I had anticipated. And in the heat of the summer here, I really didn't want to have to do a bunch of layers. So I made one top, and this is from SETTA'S summer top, and it's super customizable where you can just do a lot of creative designing and make it your own. So I made that according to pattern for the most part. And then I made another one in the Lion brand Coboo yarn, which is a cotton bamboo blend, bamboo from rayon. And if you watch my last couple of videos, then you might have seen this in the how I do the fringe video, and then also the one a couple before that where I actually reviewed this yarn. So I will leave the link below, and then of course, as always, everything else that I've mentioned, or I should say the links, because those were two different videos. So actually I'm going to just go ahead and show you the first one. Why don't I do that, and we'll start at the beginning. And I used Hobby Lobby's. I love this cotton. It's a very soft, kind of feels like a combed cotton, kind of a lighter number 4 weight, or a medium number 4. And this colorway is called Paris in June. I originally started this in Karen Cotton Cakes. It was winding up being a little bit too heavy for me with our summers here. And this worked up very nicely. I tried on as far as I could tell. I don't need to layer it. I think it turned out so pretty. It's very easy, and what's nice is that SETTA includes a free video along when you purchase it as a paid-for pattern. So when you buy her pattern. So I had a lot of fun with it. So what I did, just a couple of differences here without giving away her pattern. And then with the stitch that she did here, then I carried that up instead of the stitch that she shows. I just continued with this stitch for the shoulder portion. Because again, with all the weight of this, I was afraid it would stretch it out too much, and I wanted more bra coverage too. So I'm very, very pleased and how the shaping is. And then the bottom also, I just did a single crochet, chain 1 single crochet, and that's how I finished the bottom off. Okay, so the second thing is then I decided to make one. I had this Coboo yarn since last June of 2019. So I decided I wanted, to try another one in a different yarn, see how it worked up. And even though I went down in hook sizes, that you can just see, even here, how see-through this is, and I just, if it's cooler, yes, I could wear a camisole, a little top, a slip or something, but I just didn't want to deal with all that. So what I did was I turned it into a swimsuit cover up, and that's what you saw when I added the fringe. It fits. I just love the way it fits and it feels, and it's just so fun to wear. In fact, one of my tells, one of my little stories, is I wore it to the lake was it yesterday, day before yesterday, I think it was. And I was walking across the little boat launch parking lot area. There's this guy, and he was staring at me, staring at my dress, and staring like that. And then he asked me, he's like, "Did you make that?" And I told him, yeah, and he was pretty wowed by it, so that was fun. And then he starts telling me a story, which I thought was really fun. It's especially cute, is that he plays hockey. And so he has a friend who does as well, and sometimes he goes on the road together with them. And I guess they were driving out of town somewhere, and the guys are all going to do their mostly like guy things together. And his friend's like, "Oh, there's a yarn store over here. I have to go to that yarn store." So I know how he feels, and you probably all do too. And he's just like, "Man, you're a hockey player. What is up with that? Hockey player and yarn." I thought that was really neat. So he crochets quite a bit, I guess, and is really into it. Of course, must be if he has to go to that yarn store. So this is very comfortable. It has some weight to it. I used, if you're wondering, 5 cakes. I think they are 232 yards each, 3.5 ounces, and it's a number 3 weight. So I used every bit of it. Oh, and in fact, I meant to grab that to show you how very little I had. I mean, out of the cake, this just teeny tiny piece left. So, okay, I'm going to insert the video of me modeling this. Woohoo! And when I do my little kind of dance thing at the end, I just, with all this fringe at the end, kind of felt like a flapper in the roaring 20s. And no, I didn't do the Charleston, but I did just a little dance, just so how you could, not really a dance, but I moved this around so you can see how fluid and how much movement and drape that this has on the body. All right, so I'm going to insert that now, and then after that little clip, I'm going to show you the outfit that I found afterwards that I thought just kind of went together with this a little bit better, so that if this is something that you make and want to turn into, say, just a long tunic, which if I were to make another, I would probably make it shorter, maybe about mid-thigh, and then I can wear it over leggings, like in the spring and the fall with a short sleeve or a long sleeve top. And so I'm modeling this also a couple of different ways in the video, and then I'm going to show you my just little second outfit I put together. I hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you right back here in just a minute. Okay, what'd you think? I have to have fun with things, So here's the little outfit. All right, so I had on the same leggings, and this way you can see them up close in a different lighting. And then I pulled this brownish antique rose color, pulled that together, and then see this top, it's a very lightweight, it's a real cotton modal, which is kind of like rayon, so it's very lightweight, it's real thin. It's a layering piece. It's from Land's End. I get these a lot, the shaped fitted, if you're curious. I love these tops. I wear them, I have in so many different colors that I've had from over the years. They might have a different name now. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll leave the link below. And they come in a lot of different sizes, okay? I have to keep my eyes and ears all around me if I hear a twig break or something. I didn't bring my big stick. So yeah, I thought that would be pretty cute with this over top of the top, and then the leggings on the bottom. These are LuLaRoe, is that it? I did a craft show last year, and she was the vendor neighbor next to me. So, and she bought something for me, I bought something from her. Oh, and then if you remember, or if you watched my cup sleeve cozy video not that long ago. I'll put that link below. Ooh, there's going to be a lot of links. But, you know, I talk about stuff if people want to check it out. It's kind of nice to have the info right there. So for our newish neighbors who were just wonderful and met them recently, so I made them, I already gave them a little welcoming something, and then I made these and I showed them to her, but I said, but you can't have them yet because I wanted to show you all. So I did the same pattern, and this, both of them are in Lion Brand 24/7 cotton, and I did his and hers, and I customized them, and that's why I wanted to show her to find out kind of exactly more of the type of beverages, so that these would be a pretty custom fit onto those. And then her idea was if I just cinch tie it, which I thought was so great. And she suggested a ribbon and tie it in a bow, but I took a little to the next level and did what I do with a lot of my hats, my summer hats, is that I just did a chain. There, you can see it on that a little bit better perhaps. And I just fed it through every 3 stitches. So I have 3 double crochets where it goes over, 3 under. Over, see that? It goes over 3, under 3. And so they both come out where they're 3 on either side. And then I take a large whole bead and I just tie a knot. You know, I have my initial slip knot, and then I just do a loop knot at the end, and then I feed the 2 ends through. I want this to be able to stay secured, the bead, but I also want to be able to slip up and down without it fraying the yarn. So that worked out real well, real cute, and she loves them. And I used the same type of bead. I got those at Michael's on a strand, 3 or 4 different colors where you've got that, the gunmetal, and then the shiny antique silver there, and then a goldish color, and then I think a copper. So pretty sure there are 4. Cute, huh? Yeah, so that's my little add-on for the cup cozies. And then the next thing up, since doing finished items, is I made another knit piece. Yay! And I will leave the link below. This is a stitch tutorial, and it's really fun. It's so beautiful, and it's amazing to me that it looks like I put so much more into it than I did. It's an easy pattern. I'd say it's very beginner friendly. It's a nice tutorial. And what I did, just to change it up a bit, was I put 10 rows in between of the stockinette stitch. And then, let's see, instead of making this into a scarf, which I was originally going to, I decided to just sew the 2 ends together and turn it into a cowl. And then had I decided to, you know, if I did that at the beginning, decided I wanted to make it a cowl, then I probably would have ended it on the stitch pattern so that the end of the stitch pattern connected with the stockinette stitch. But it still works. I like it, and this part can go onto the back of my neck, and it's just long enough to, it's a long cowl, and it's just long enough to double it up and make it into more like a neck warmer, because see, like in the early spring, we get these spring winds and they're still cold and biting. Yeah, that kind of works with what I have on. Yeah, I keep my hair pulled back when I'm close to the trees, because early summer, I came to the house, I had a tick in my hair. Yeah, that wasn't so fun. So anyway, yeah, I'm real pleased. It's lightweight, I think be just enough, and it's fun. It was just practicing, really practice. But yeah, I understand now, I'm learning the nature is that of the stockinette stitch is that it wants to curl in. Now I have not blocked this or anything, but what I might do is I have a little bit of the yarn left. I might experiment maybe on the back where it won't show because I don't want to stretch the stitches out, but I just might crochet. Even if I did a single crochet, chain one single crochet, because that's kind of a go-to for me for just certain edgings. It just adds just a little bit, and I'm wondering if it would give it a little more weight, a little more stability on the edges to help keep that open. And I would do that on both the outside and the inside, and I wouldn't mind if it was just a little bit wider on both sides too, so when I double it up I have that little bit extra thickness. And if you're curious on this yarn, this is Michael's Loops and Threads. They're Joy DK, and it came in some self-striping and some solids also. A lot were clearanced out earlier, maybe at the end of the spring, early summer, and I already had this. Really been wanting to use up what I can of my stash right now, and that might take a little while, but I'm giving it my best effort. Okay, and I guess the last thing up are 2 balls of yarn I thought was so interesting and so soft. These are the same colorways, but I intentionally picked a couple that were different, so I wouldn't have to take this apart, and then you could see almost all the colorways that are in it. And maybe when I get to making it up, there might even be extra surprises inside, and I see one right now. This is Hobby Lobby's Yarn Bee Arabella, and I saw this either early this year or the end of last year. I think it's sort of relatively new, at least to me. I hadn't seen it prior to that. But I look at it every time, so they had their usual sale. I want to try a couple, and then once I work them up, I will do a review, or at least show you what I made and what I think of it, and I like it so far. It is so soft, and you have a white, or some are white and some are cream sides, and then mixed with colors, and they seem to be like a gradient self-striping, and some are more tonal. I think there's one with grays and one with neutral colors and one with blue, but with the whole range that it works to and from within that same tonal color family. And this one, the Whimsical Whirlwind /01, and 3.5 ounces, 100 grams. Only get 105 yards, but it is a number 5 bulky. Bulky, light bulky, chunky weight. It's a little more how I would describe that. And so 105 yards, 96 meters. And it is 55 cotton, 45 acrylic. It's that like cotton ball, cottony soft, but it's not real fuzzy. Has just a very slight halo, some places maybe a little more than others. The wear test will really show, but can you see that? How the fuzz from the cotton comes up pretty easily. But I'm excited. I think I would like to make a little chunky hat. So squishy. I think it's very interesting that the way the 2 colors of yarn are wrapped around with yet another yarn. A real thin thread-like. I'm sure you can see that running throughout. Maybe on that color, there we go. You can see that a little bit better. Pretty, real pretty stuff. So that was my big yarn purchase for the week, but it's still fun to go in and look. Okay, well, I do believe that's it. That's it for, Lucy. She has to put her 2 cents worth in there. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this share. I had fun. I love show and tell. And I love watching those out there too. All right, well, take care, everyone. Please let me know your thoughts. And come back again soon. All righty. Until then, be well, stay safe, and have some fun.